Good afternoon, everyone. How's everyone doing today on this wonderful Wednesday? Listen, I've been so inspired by a recent LinkedIn article, which is a collaborative one. It's asking this question: You're leading a large group discussion. How do you ensure everyone has a chance to speak up? And this is the way that not only I lead it, but the way we lead it here at Bring Humanity Together. And what they are bringing into the space in this article is about, of course, setting ground rules, use a structured turn kind of dynamic, um, leverage technology, breaking it down, rotate facilitators. Um, and for me, the only thing that I have to kind of flip the script on a little bit is encourage, uh, I won't say equity, but I would say encourage equality in everything. And the reason why I say that, if we give people enough space from that place of have it maybe an equal turn to a certain degree in everything, I truly believe that's going to be more beneficial. And yes, and equity kind of does go into that to a large extent too as well. I see that, but I like to have give people equal time to the best of our human ability to do so. Uh, but for me, the way I've led a lot of our discussions uh, on LinkedIn and off LinkedIn is literally saying and asking very dynamic and very deep and meaningful conversations. Because I will go back to that Julie Dar video, and I will even put it into my response on this LinkedIn article, is that maybe we can choose curiosity over clash and use the conversations there within as a climbing wall to move the needle and dialogue forward, or even create more opportunities there within in and of itself. Because see, I recognize, and we recognize here bringing humanity together, that everyone's going to be uniquely different in and of itself. And maybe they're going to be those people who are only going to be the listeners, and that's okay. And there's going to be those people who is going to end up really wanting to be chomping at the bit and sharing their thoughts on some things. And sometimes people just have to get it out, but also just forget it. I recognize that too as well. We recognize it here too as well, bringing humanity together. But if we give people, again, that place and space to where everyone can be not only be seen and heard, but belong to the very conversation in that very present moment, I truly believe that's a big thing in and of itself. Because again, at the end of the day, and what I truly believe and what we truly believe here, bring humanity together, is if we can bring that sense of that, I truly believe it's like the next currency of humanity, which is value and not money. If we bestow value into the conversation in and of itself, and not only respect people and honor them and be willing to listen and then listen to learn, then we can lead the conversation in a better way than what we probably have done in previous conversations in the past. Not only from the place of speaking, but also from a place of listening and learning. So when you put all that kind of stuff together, for me, what I have done it is and what we have done it here at Bring Humanity Together is we have structured it to where the structure is there, but it's not so rigid and boxed in. You can't really go outside of the structure. But maybe there's some people who want to go outside of the structure to get to know more or ask more probative questions or even listen more and say, I want to take it out to here to get more, maybe a pathway to clarity. Because see, once you get people kind of boxed into that conversation that they have to only say certain things or they have to respond in a certain way, ladies and gentlemen, we're not will I actually believe we shouldn't be willing to sacrifice a learning moment or even a giving moment to where we actually give somebody knowledge and insight at the expense of telling them they have to show up in a certain way or say something in a certain way. I've led conversations on LinkedIn for many months now, and even offline too as well. And we have here at Bring Humanity Together in tandem, that we just let a free flowing, evergreen and ever growing conversation to literally take place. Because if you create that with people, then in and of itself, it pays dividends. Because, like I said, if we put value into the mix of things, we again be open hearted and open minded to take things in for what they are versus what it's not, then the conversations becomes more deep and enriching. Because if we start making it about ourselves, whether it be from the place of the speaker or the people who are going to add something into the mix in and of itself, and we kind of turn the conversation spotlight onto us and say, hey, here's me. This is what I'm bringing to the table. You got to value what I'm saying here. And then that probably takes and detracts on where the conversation should truly be in line with and everything like that. So if we can recognize everyone can have that seat at the table, so to speak, then people will be understanding how they can show up, what can be contributed when they do show up. And yeah, granted, there's going to be those people who are going to like talk off to no end, and we got to be mindful of that. But we don't have to disrespect them because of that. Because there's some people who just talk in those kind of ways to be able to effectively communicate, and that's the way they probably do it. And again, I would go back to what John C. Maxwell says in that great book, Everyone Communicates, Few Connect. That very title alone says a lot. And when you really think about it, we communicate in so many different ways, it's not even funny. But do we connect when we communicate? And I truly believe when we create these conversations, not only online but offline, I truly believe if we can get to that place that we do communicate and then we connect, it's a totally different ball game. Because then we don't shut nobody out, we don't put nobody down, we don't devalue anyone who's contributing into the conversation, we don't kind of let it go in one ear and out the other. We take everything into account. And I truly believe when we allow that to kind of foster and take hold, the whole dynamic shifts in the conversation in and of itself. Because when you kind of ask open-ended questions and you just let people sit and stew on that maybe for a minute or two, and then they can come back. And it's like we've been so eager and we've been kind of led to believe we got to be able to take something in and then just respond right back for whatever rhyme or reason to make us feel like that we're in the right. We have to be above somebody else. And sometimes we actually jump the gun before they even finish their question or their insight. But if we was to kind of reframe all that and see it from their lens to a large degree, then we can understand why they are saying what they're saying, maybe at face value. And yet, granted, we may not be able to understand totally exactly what they're all saying. But if we come back and say, hey, what did you mean by that? I want to learn more about that and everything like that. And like I said, in the Julia Dar video, like I said, I'll put it in this article when you guys look at my response, because I truly believe if we can choose that curiosity over class and we use conversations as the climbing wall to move the needle and dialogue forward, or even, like I said, create more opportunities there within, and then maybe at the end of the day, then maybe even be rooted in common purpose. And the way I have led all these calls and what we have done here at Bringing Humanity Together is we've done it from four things. Number one, we've done it from a place of intentionality. If we can do it from a place of intentionality, the next thing you know, more people will be more involved from the intention that you put out there. Number two, allowing flow to take place. And flow is another side of the dynamic of change. Change is the constant throughout life. We always have seen that there. We can't control it. We can't contrive it. We can't put it in the box. We can never control change. There's no way we can. So we embrace change for what it is and versus what it's not. and everything like that. So we embrace that wholeheartedly here at Bringing Humanity Together. And I truly embraced that for now many, many years. But then number three, we do it from a place of alignment. There's going to be some people in our sphere of influence, or even in our communities or in our workplaces today, may be in alignment with us or us with them, or we may not be in alignment with them or them with us. That's going to be there. But then the fourth thing also comes into play too as well. And I don't know if you see my hand, but it's number 4. Is about agreement. Whatever we do in life, alignment and agreement are kind of tandem kind of dynamics. They're not mutually exclusive to one another, but they literally are interconnected and intertwined. So when it comes to the agreement piece, maybe if we just put it there as a gift of invitation, not only from alignment and agreement, but when it comes to that agreement kind of dynamic, you allow them to come to you and say, hey, I'm in such agreement with you on all these things, but I'm not yet with you in alignment, or vice versa. Hey, Bob, I'm in such an alignment with you on all these things, but I'm not yet with you in agreement. But if we could just let that be for what it is versus what it's not, it shifts the whole dynamic of a conversation in and of itself. And it creates more enriching dialogue when you let go of ego, when you let go of fear, when you let go of control, when you let go of even expectation, or even, and we've talked about this here at Bring Humanity Together before, about perception. We've talked about perception can actually lead into deception, because what we perceive to be real may not in fact be real, and everything like that. So that's one thing that we have taken into account too as well, because of that, not in spite of it. So we have just laid all that kind of groundwork out there, because we just know you can never control a conversation. You should never actually control a conversation. You should let it go to wherever it goes and everything like that. And yes, mind you, there's going to be some people who are going to be triggered on this, doesn't like that, have to speak out about this and all that kind of stuff. And I understand that, recognize that 110%. But when we allow and foster a great dialogue, that where again, we maybe at the end of the day, we say, hey, I agree to disagree and everything like that. And maybe I can still work with you from a place of agreement going into alignment, or vice versa. But just let that be for what it is. And like I said, that is what we have done here at Bringing Humanity Together, to foster that kind of conversation, not only internally, but also externally too as well. When we do it in that kind of framework, it goes in many directions and many forms. It's like the picture behind me, we rise by lifting others. Think about this. Do we even help each other rise in that conversation? Do we actually let them kind of maybe be the star of the moment, star of the show, the leader of the conversation? And the way I have led a lot of our calls here at Bring Humanity Together, and we believe it too as well at Bring Humanity Together, if you let it be about others and not about you, and you even put it on their timetable, not on yours, ladies and gentlemen, that changes the game in and of itself. And I truly believe in that. So I would love to get your thoughts and insights of what I've shared here today. Like I said, it's going to be in this article. Like I said, right now, what I'm going to do is going to be taking it and uploading this to YouTube, and I'll come back and be in the article. And it's going to be not only on LinkedIn, but also I'll be posting it as a YouTube video. So you guys go check us out at Bringing Humanity Together. But we'd love to hear your thoughts and insights of what I'll share here today. So you guys have a wonderful Wednesday. Make your day. I would love to collaborate and hear from all of you. But the best way I can communicate is by actually talking to people. And that's the way I've effectively want to communicate with people, because sometimes just words don't really give you a lot. And see, when you think about it from a conversation standpoint, especially in the days of social media as it is today, if we see only somebody's face, we really don't see what they're actually feeling at that very given moment. So it's better to have an actual one-on-one or multiple kind of dynamic that you actually see the people that you're talking with in and of itself. And yes, mind you, I know there's some people who get a lot more out of audio than they do from a visual perspective. I recognize that and I even honor that and everything. But see, I just know that everyone learns completely different from one person to the next. Some people do have to have both. They have to have the visual, they have to have the audio to really see that. Or even when you think about from a third dimension of how they really feel when something's being said and everything. So, like I said, that's what I want to bring to the table today, everyone. Like I said, love to hear your thoughts and insights of what I presented here today and what we have presented to you guys here at Bringing Humanity Together. You guys have a wonderful Wednesday. Make your day. Looking forward to speaking and collaborating with you all here very soon. And let's create a better world through the power of conversation and even the gift of invitation in and of itself. One conversation at a time, one moment at a time, or even that one moment at a time. And we truly want to do that here. So you guys have an amazing day. Make it your day.